Hello and welcome to day 5 of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2952. It is Anvil Day and, oh, what's this? A new ship has been unveiled. Well, it's a variant of a ship that we already have. It is the C8R Medical Pisces. And we will have a look at that. We'll have a look at the expo halls and go down into the holosuite before going on to the RSI website and having a look at actually what's on sale. And we'll have a quick discussion about the Medical Pisces before doing a video on that as well separately. So what have we got over here first? So we've got a little Terrapin boy. So the Terrapins, very interesting ships. So it's meant for one person, although I suppose it's probably suited to two as well. It's a little very heavy duty, very tanky, surviving sort of various hostile environments, sort of scanning and reconnaissance ship. You're going to be being able to do a lot of scanning and searching and exploration in this ship, sort of like maybe exploring dangerous asteroid fields or sort of nebulas and things like that, but also maybe scouting out an enemy force. And you've got enough tankiness to be able to sort of get away if you are discovered. That's the idea. We've got the Gladiator, I believe this is, which is a fighter bomber. It is indeed. So this is a fighter bomber. Maybe needs a little bit of an update, but it's going to be used in, I believe, Squadron 42 a lot. Not many people use it in the verse currently. But it's got a good selection of bombs. It's got a reasonable loadout. It is a reasonably powerful ship. It just feels like it's been neglected somewhat. It needs a bit of tweaks and a few little updates maybe. Cool little fighter bomber. We've got the Arrow, one of my favourite ships. Certainly one of my favourite light fighters. Very, very cool. Sometimes it's super OP in a patch. They sort of nerfed it a little while back. But I think it's still got its place in the verse. Its wings fold down and it has a very striking pose. I just think it's a no-nonsense light fighter. Absolutely fantastic ship. Then we've got the Anvil Carrack. Again, one of my favourite ships. It is a top-tier exploration ship. We've got the Corsair. The Corsair's one deck. This is on, I don't know, 3 decks or something. It's big. It's explory. It's got a nommy mouth that can store vehicles. It's got a sort of hangar in there as well that a Pisces can live in. Or another small ship. There you can have your vehicle. You've got like a drone bay. You've got so much going on. How does this door open? It just takes ages to open. But I really love the Carrack. I think there's just so much going on. And it may have some modularity in these sort of cargo bays in the future as well. It's got 3 of those sort of cargo bays. Yeah, if you want to do exploration, you've got a tier 2 medical facility there as well, so you can respawn there. It's pretty cool. Very, very functional, very useful. Now, the Odyssey is a bit different from that in the fact that it's bigger and can stay out in the verse longer, but it loses some of the bells and the whistles that the Carrack does, but it can instead mine its own quantanium, its quantum fuel, so it's self-sustaining in that regard, although I think this is more of a, the Carrack's more of a pathfinder slash mapper, and will be able to be pretty good at finding sort of jump points and that sort of stuff, whereas the Odyssey is just going to be incredibly good at staying out in the verse for a huge period of time. So we've got a... is this a Hurricane? Looks like a Hurricane. Rock me like a hurricane. So the Hurricane has a giant sort of set of guns as a manned turret on the back. I mean, it's got big guns at the front, but it's got 4 huge guns at the back. Lots and lots of pew-pew. Obviously, you can turn it around to face the rear of the ship. It's basically a very powerful, very high DPS, quite fast in a straight line, heavy fighter. And I think a lot of people sort of like enjoy that ship. And then we've got an Anvil Hawk over here. So the Hawk is more of a bounty hunting ship. So it allows you to fly around, take other ships out, sort of try and stun them, disable them. Maybe track someone that's running away from you on the ground because it's got this sort of like glass underneath here that you can sort of see below you. It's got a load of little guns on it, and also at the back, well, you've got this little exterior pod for storing someone that you don't like, or maybe even a friend actually. If you just want to take a friend along, to ride. I mean, that would be terrifying to be in there, sealed away, while they take you to through space. Oh, if you got into a fight or something as well. And then over here, we've got a Pisces of some description. I'm not sure if this is the C8 or the C8X. It is the C8X. So it's got more guns. That's what the C8X has got. It's got more guns than the standard C8 Pisces. It's a surprisingly large amount of room in the back, eh? It's got cargo, room for a pilot, and then 2 people to sit down in there as well. Cool little ship, cool little runabout. So let's have a quick look in these medical Pisces. So as far as I'm aware, it's the standard C8 loadout with a tier 3 medical bed in the back. So it got up the stairs like a normal human. So some nice little glassy areas. It's got some component access. You've got your tier 3 medical bed. And then you've got your sort of like medical dispensary, a little pharmacy area. You lose the 2 seats. And you have 1 seat. So you've got the pilot seat and 1 additional seat. And I suppose the bed instead. And then where the other seat would be, this allows you to... Okay, this facility does not support regeneration. Okay, that's cool that it has that terminal. But this is where you do all the medical treatment for the person in the medical bed. Tier 3 will allow you to treat minor injuries and stabilize patients, but it's pretty useful. And if you fly this into the back of a... if you have it in the back of a Carrack, or maybe it's a smaller ship that has enough room for it, then you effectively can have a small medical bay in another ship. But it's supposed to work as a little ambulance. We'll have a look at this in a little bit more detail on the website in a minute. Let's run over to the halls over here. I didn't notice this before. This is a hologram on the ceiling of the Tobin Expo Center of a Corsair, I think, chasing a Hercules of some description. Got a Scorpius flying in there. It's going through an asteroid field. That's really cool. Oh, I love it. It's a silly thing just to have. One of the other things, actually, talking about the medical Pisces, is that it appears to be flyable now, which is pretty cool, eh? So what do we have in this hall? It's just Hornets. So many Hornets. So we've got a Hornet here. I think this is the Hornet. It's the Wildfire. It's the variant of the Hornet. So just got a different loadout. So it's the standard civilian model with a different loadout, but that different loadout does give it a weapon on its sort of spine / ball mount at the back, where the cargo bay would normally be. And then we've got the Hornet Tracker. So basically the central modules change for a lot of these. And typically they are supposed to be 1-seater ships, except the Super Hornet is technically 2-seater, and actually 2-seater as well. So Hornet Tracker, if you want to be, doing scanning and tracking in a wing. So the idea is that these can operate as part of like a crew in a Idris or in a wing of fighters. And you'd have the abilities to have like, I want one of them that's slightly better at scanning in the wing. Then we've got the standard Hornet here. Got the cargo module in the center. Really good loadouts on the sort of Hornets. Very much brawler ships with a load of guns. The F7CM, the Super Hornet, is probably one of the... It's the most popular one, and it's one of the more popular medium fighters as well. It's just got loads of guns on its wings, on its nose, on its sort of ball mount at the back. It's got 2 seats as well. It's a really solid brawler fighter, lots of pew-pew, lots of weapon options, and very big sort of engines. Oh, looks so cool. And it's sort of like, it really, really sort of sums up Star Citizen to me, like this and originally the Constellation as well, but I think the Constellation is a bit dated now, it feels. But the Hornet's still looking fantastic. I know a lot of people are going to love that, the Constellations. I got the Hornet Ghost, so this is the stealthier version. It's got like stealth armor on it. And then you've got the F7A, which is the military version, and which is not available to purchase. Although there were some military skins available, they're not upgrading your ship to the military version of the Hornet. Can I let me in? So you got just the military version of the Hornet here. basically a Super Hornet, but with a single seat and sort of military gear and components. Oh, I really like it. I wish we could buy it, but we'll have to get them in game, I believe, in some way in the future. Probably after we complete Squadron 42, I'll probably have access to them. But you'll be able to buy them off in game other ways as well in the future. All right, let's go into another expo hall. What do we have in this hall? Ooh, some interesting things. Why is there only one of the land vehicles here? Interesting. So basically, they have a load of different vehicles, Anvil, that all use the Atlas chassis. So this is the Spartan. This is sort of like the people carrier version, but it's got a reasonably good armament, sort of APC. Really like the idea of an APC in game. Me and Sin wanted an APC for a long time. For some reason, it gives me Aliens vibes, although it's a bit more less retro looking than that. But probably they'll be downstairs, actually, thinking about it. We've got the Valkyrie, very popular dropship. It's got a load of armaments and firepower to be able to assist in taking over areas and sort of taking a drop zone, holding it, and being able to get people in and out quickly and easily. I like the fact that my twin's in there. He's wearing clothes, twinsies. Obviously, maybe he's bored as well. But yeah, load of room for vehicles, and inside a load of chairs for people to sit in as well. So full complement of sort of Marines and vehicles to bring to a fight. What angles is this? Is this the F8 Lightning? Well, it may well be. Yes. We've got an F8 Lightning here as well. So, again, this is not really available to players, although some concierge got their hands on some for spending far too much on the game. I think like $25,000 or something gets you an F8 Lightning. Although they're not flyable yet. You will be able to get these in-game eventually. You just can't purchase them with real money. I think you'll sort of get access to them once you've got to a certain place again in Squadron 42. But you'll be able to buy them in the verse, probably in other ways as well. Huge amount of armament. Very powerful, military heavy fighter. Sort of can take a huge amount of punishment, can deal out a huge amount of punishment. One of the scarier ships in game, I would imagine, as far as fighters go. But just look at the big guns. There's loads of them. Let me get out of here so someone else can get in. I do not want to bogart all of the stuff. Let's go downstairs and have a look, see what's there. So coming down the stairs, we can see where the rest of those sort of Spartan or Atlas vehicles are. So which one is this? The Centurion! So powerful anti-air platform with loads of traditional weaponry. It's going to be very, very useful. It's like a Shikla, I suppose. Is that how you pronounce it? The anti-air vehicle. So a couple of players driving this and shooting with this. A very cool thing. It's the sort of thing I say buy in-game rather than with real money, because ground vehicles are very cheap to buy in-game. And then you've got a ballista, which replaces that sort of rear turret with 1 million missiles. Maybe not 1 million, but lots of big missiles for taking out ships. Very cool vehicle, but it's going to run out of armament very quickly. Although, that said, it's probably going to be pretty effective against deterring ships when they're trying to attack you. Let's have a look to see what's in the display hall this day. This week and day. So, we have... What is this called again? The Anvil Legionnaire. I can't remember what the Legionnaire does. So, let's read. When the operation calls for a hostile takeover of an enemy vehicle or station, the Anvil Legionnaire is ready to report for duty with 8 drop seats, versatile docking options, and an advanced security infiltration system. Even the most difficult of boarding actions are feasible with the Legionnaire in your fleet. Yes, so this is the sort of hacking dropship. So it hacks into a ship and then will basically go, yes, allow me to dock with your docking collar, and sort of hooks itself up to a docking collar, and then your Marines can enter through that. So it's supposed to be stealthy, hacky, and yeah, if you're into that, then maybe you want a Legionnaire. There's some ships that I've just literally forgotten about entirely. So this is the Liberator. This is basically a landing craft of a ship. I say landing craft. It's got a load of space for ships and vehicles inside it, on top of it, and marines. And yeah, you can just use this to assault a base. And you just have loads of vehicles and ships and marines on board, and they all charge out and run around and shoot everything. Anvil continues its tradition of excellence with the Liberator, an open-air vehicle carrier designed with the same quantum drive and long-distance capabilities of military-spec carriers and Pathfinders, but tailored to the civilian market. The Liberator is the ideal carrier to put your fleet on the front line of any operation. It's a cool ship. It looks a bit like a door wedge. It's a bit of a wedgie boy. It's sort of very landing crafty. But it's big. It's a big boy. Also, if you want to sort of transport vehicles and ships between systems, it's probably pretty useful as well. And then we've got the Anvil Crucible. So this ship is going to allow you to repair fighters that can land in its bay. So it's got a little bay up inside it. So internally, you'll be able to repair like Hornets and medium fighters and things like that. But also, it's supposed to have little arms that come out of the front of the ship that can then make lattice work or otherwise repair larger ships, like capital ships or just ships in general. It's a big ship repair ship. It's cool. I'm looking forward to them being in game. I think that's it. Let's go check out the RSI website.
No, it's all wrong. Well, the RSI Galaxy prototype didn't show, and now the piece is a mess. Well, figure out how to punch this up while I go prep the Anvil segment. Oh, come on, Jimmy, you're supposed to be good at this.
Pick yourself up, mate. No time to feel sorry for you. Hello?
Oh my god! Oh my god, this one is crazy! He's poking him with this.
Still alive!
Oh, there's one of those new Anvil C8R ambulance snubs I've heard about.
Oh, hey Jimmy. Well, you've been watching these videos, right? Well, this one's crazy. Well, seriously? Oh, it's great stuff. Jax has been beaming it from Pyro.
What? Well, we'll have you back out there, patched up and saving lives as soon as we possibly can. If I can work out how to use this built-in medbed.
So, Anvil Day, what have we got on sale? We've got that new Anvil C8R Pisces, and we'll have a little bit more of a look at that in a second, but I am going to be covering that in a bit more detail in another video. So, $75, we've got an Arrow, that light fighter. Is it worth that? It's pretty good, actually. It's a pretty good ship. It might be something you want to start the game with, even potentially, if you wanted to do bounties as your thing. We've got the Ballista from $140. I think that's a bit too expensive for a ground vehicle personally, but if you want a lot of anti-air pew-pew, then it's got your back. I mean, there'll be more reasons to use ground vehicles in the not too distant future. The Carrack, that fantastic Explorer Pathfinder ship, $600, really puts it sort of in contrast with the 250 or 225 to 250 of the Corsair. So the Carrack is a level above that, but it's more for like a larger crew, and it's got a huge amount of other exploration things going on with drones and stuff like that as well. So sort of bear that in mind. If you want no frills, just exploration at a very good distance or whatever, the Corsair might just be for you. But if you want something a bit bigger and you want that sort of ground vehicle and snub aboard, you want that hangar, I suppose you can have the ground vehicle in the Corsair, but maybe just not as big a ground vehicle. And the Carrack's going to be for sort of like high tier exploration, staying out longer and being able to scan down stuff a bit better and things like that as well. And it's got pretty good armament too. I mean, so's the Corsair. They're $600 versus $250 though. It's just maybe have a couple of Corsairs. You got the Centurion, another one of those Atlas platform vehicles, $110, still pretty expensive. Something I'll definitely get in game. The Crucible, $350 for that repair ship. I think it's going to be fantastic once it's in game, but at the moment it's very much in concept. I don't know if it's in production at all at the moment. In fact, you've got the Hornet series, so you've got the standard civilian the F7C Hornet, $110. You've got the Wildfire, which is the variant loadout, $175. $180, the Super Hornet. That is the one I'd go for if I was buying a Hornet, just because it's got a load of guns and 2 seats, and it's the top tier civilian version of a Hornet. And you've got the Hornet Tracker if you want to do a bit of tracking and scanning and have more powerful scanners. You've got the Ghost if you want to be a bit more stealthy. Got Gladiator. Gladiator, really underused in the game at the moment, but it is a fighter bomber. I expect it will get some tweaks in the future. Hawk, $100 for the Hawk. It's going to give you the ability to do solo bounty hunting gameplay. I think it's going to be quite fun to do that in as well. Hurricane, $195, pretty expensive, but it's got huge guns. Huge guns. That turret is just fun to play around with. You can zip away from targets while shooting them as they pursue you. Legionnaire, that sort of drop ship, but it's more focused on hacking / drop ship, sort of hybrid gameplay. I say hybrid gameplay, it's you hack to then basically utilize your praise ship sort of docking collar. $120, I think that's a pretty good price for the ship. And then we've got the Liberator, which is that sort of assault craft that has room for vehicles on the inside and ships as well on top, and marines and all that. It's a one-stop shop to it says Deep Strike light carrier. That's pretty effectively what it is indeed. Then we got the Spartan from $80. That's the sort of troop transport APC of a ship. And then we've got the Terrapin. Terrapin, if you want to do sort of scouting and scanning in dangerous environments, short range or medium range, then the Terrapin may be for you. It's also going to be very good to bring aboard another ship that's sort of like will it fit on the things like the Polaris? Or maybe you want to have one in an Idris. I just think it's a very useful utility ship. You've got the Valkyrie, $375. Sort of getting pretty expensive, but it is quite a big, powerful drop ship that's got a load of guns to be able to assist the sort of Marines on the ground as well. Got a Super Hornet, so F7CM Super Hornet Warbond Daily Deal, if you are so interested. What discount do we get with this? It is $15 off, so if you want to do some CCU chaining, it might help you with that, or if you want to get a upgrader package to be a Super Hornet, then that might be a good shout for you. We also have these, if you are a concierge, giant Anvil aerospace packs. Now we'll have a really brief look at the C8R Pisces, because I'm going to be doing another video immediately after this, or maybe even before this. I don't know what's coming out first on the ship, but it's a little search and rescue ambulance, newly flyable today, straight to flyable, and it looks like it's going to be pretty popular just because of its tier 3 medical bed in the back. It's available from $60, so that's quite expensive for a little snub boy, but it has got that ambulance functionality, and there's some cool little paints for it as well. I'm interested to know what people think of that. There's a Warbond deal for that as well. Again, an upgrade costing you $60, so you save $5 off the standard. So it's $65 if you're buying it with store credit. Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on with it? Yes, so it's 65 store credit, 60 Warbond. Okay, I think it's a cool little ship. I'm really interested to know what you think of the C8R Pisces. Were you expecting it? I think a lot of people were. There were a load of leaks and then a load more leaks. So people were talking about it quite a bit. But what do you think? Are you going to be purchasing anything during the Anvil Day? Do you like the idea of the Crucible and that sort of stuff? If you've got a Carrack, do you think the Carrack's too expensive? Do you love the Corsair now because it's so much cheaper? Are you going to be buying loads of medical Pisces and upgrading them to other ships? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. But what's tomorrow? Actually, go back to the IAE. And because we've got more ships that will be turning up in the not too distant future as well. I say the not too distant future. So tomorrow we have Argo, Consolidated Outland, Greycat, and Kruger all taking the show floor. So there's a lot of ships across a lot of manufacturers there. And then we still got Crusader, MISC, Robert Space Industries to go. And on the 26th, with the Robert Space Industries Day, you can expect another new ship to turn up. Ooh. But whatever you think, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Hello, I'm Winston Churchill, and I use NordVPN to defend the Internet Empire. We will fight the ants on the beaches. We shall fight on the Internet. We shall fight the trackers and the malware. Whether we want to watch Netflix for another country or have greater accessibility to the Internet, we will defend our island home. At any rate, that is what we're programmed to do.
Thanks, Winston Churchill. What? What do you mean, Sin? That wasn't Winston Churchill? Point still stands. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer to get yourself discounted NordVPN, or use the links below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For November, we're giving away a Crusader Spirit C1. It's a fantastic looking multi-role ship that can fit a vehicle in the back or a load of cargo, and it looks really cool. It's got loads of forward-facing weaponry and a tractor beam. As it's a concept ship, though, the winner will have a Cutlass back in the meantime as a loaner. It comes with access to the game and lifetime insurance too, so bam! Even if you don't have Star Citizen stuff yet, you can get straight into the game with this. It's all you need. Just comment on any of my videos this month to be in for a chance of winning. A massive thank you to everyone that has used the join button under my videos to become a channel member, and my Patreons. You guys are awesome. It really does help the channel. Please consider becoming one of those lovely people too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.